presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Oregon football.
It's about them going on the field and getting better.
He's gone. He's gone. See you later. Touchdown. Ducks.
We want to play with relentless effort. We want to attack the ball at a high level.
Pressure comes. They got him again.
And I want to see those guys playing for each other.
Give it to James again, and he may go all the way. Goes in down the middle. There's Pez Johnson. Why not just score?
These guys come to work, man. They're wired the right way. Always about hearing the message, not the tone.
There's no place like Oregon. We do it different. We're growth mindset oriented and just great people.
This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Country Financial Insurance, protect what matters, and by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks! Drink Pepsi. Now let's go to the Country Financial Studios and talk Oregon Duck football.
Thank you, and welcome into a Wednesday. Go Dodgers. Just had to slip that in. I know it's the World Series. I'm sorry. I know I'm in a San Francisco Giants house right here. I mean, it's crazy.
Royals. You got the Royals.
I got the Royals over here.
Funny, an hour ago when it was 5-0, you weren't saying a word.
Yeah, it was pretty quiet.
No, I'm no dummy. All right, okay. Welcome to the show. 8-0, 5-0. Oregon Ducks getting ready to head out on the road. Michigan next up. We'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about last week as well. Not a whole lot about it. It's our coaches show. And Pepsi Coaches Interview brought to you by Pepsi. And Coach, we're gonna talk about football a little bit, but we're a day away from Halloween.
Oh, man.
Okay, we got to spend some time on Halloween. Do we have that picture of the – I was going to ask – I don't know if we've got that or not. Okay. There was a picture of your office staff, coaches and kids. I mean, it was a big group.
We got a big group. We got a lot of kids.
I saw some real big bags of candy too.
A lot of candy.
Okay,
made it home to the house.
I tried to pick out which one was you in that group.
You probably picked it out. No,
I think I did. The big yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? It's
So I was walking out of the house that morning, and I realized that we were having the kids.
Yeah.
Later on that day for Halloween, I was like, I need a mask, so I just grabbed one of my kids' masks. They had a cow mask or a bull.
Yeah, it was big. Yeah, it was a big one.
It worked out good.
Yeah.
The mouth actually moved when you talked to. It was kind of cool.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh,
there it is.
There they are.
Far
Look
left.
at that. That's your coaches.
Is that far left?
Your staff.
Yeah, that's the whole. That's the whole staff there, the whole squad.
That looked like you had fun.
We had a good time. Yeah, we had a good time.
Kind of enjoy.
Had about an hour of trick or treating all the way around the office there, so it was fun.
What are Caden, Niles, and Titan wearing this year? Are they in there somewhere?
Yeah, they're in there. I think Caden is Link, like from Zelda, and Niles made his own mask.
That's so awesome.
So he like got on YouTube and figured out how to make his own mask. So he made his own mask, and I couldn't tell you exactly what he is.
That is.
And then Titan there looks like he's wearing a Michael Myers mask with a prison outfit. So what is he? I don't know. Doesn't look like a good guy. Looks like a bad guy.
That's Halloween. You're not supposed
That's
to
a
look
lot,
good.
and that's a lot of candy right there.
A
Right?
lot of candy. A lot of people cashed in on candy that day.
They leave it behind at the office?
There's too much candy left at the office. I've had a little bit too much candy this
wondered,
week.
I was going to ask you, and I don't know what you call the war room. We just call it the war room where you guys have. Is there a big bowl of candy?
No, but we got some by the desk up there by Cody's desk.
Oh,
and,
okay. I may sneak up there tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a good place to hit.
Okay. Your players, your team, any guys dress up for Halloween that you saw in the locker room or around the HCC?
No, but that doesn't mean they didn't do it. I just didn't see it. I don't think.
There's still tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow actually is Halloween. Yeah, we could do that. For you, I mean, we just got a chance to see your kids dressed up. Go back to when you were young. When you were a little guy, what was your favorite costume uniform? Do you remember?
My grandma actually made it for me. She made me a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like outfit.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Leonardo sword. Right? It's all about the weapons. Who had the coolest weapons? Like, Raphael was cool, right? But you definitely aren't picking the guy with the staff. You're not, So it was definitely swords. You had to go with the guy with the swords.
Were you into it? I mean, did you enjoy it when you were a
kid?
kid?
At that point,
oh,
yeah, for sure.
Paper bag, or did you have some sort of specialized basket like a
I don't
plastic
remember.
pumpkin?
We used to use a sheet.
Yeah, ours was a pillowcase.
I think that's probably what we were. I think that's what I was rocking with. Was probably a pillowcase. I can't remember.
No,
it's been a while.
What was your favorite candy as a kid?
I don't know if I remember that either. I know now, like I'm probably going Reese's, right?
Okay.
Or like gummies, like they have the Lifesaver gummy
Yeah.
rings.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good.
I was writing them all down right here. And none of mine contain chocolate. It's like Sour Patch, Swedish Fish,
Nerds.
Skittles,
What's our position on
Laffy
candy
Taffy.
corn?
Candy corn king right here.
You like it?
No, I like the pumpkins,
Really?
which is like candy corn just shaped like a
It's
pumpkin.
like eating wax.
Yeah.
Sugared
not a
wax.
fan.
It's
There's
straight
just
sugar.
so much quality candy now. Like,
Yeah.
It's always in the booth around Halloween. And then
Yeah.
it usually lasts through Thanksgiving, and there's a little bit around Christmas because they make Christmas candy corn.
Yeah, Joey's
It's great.
digging right over there for a little bit
He's
extra.
looking for it
now,
right
so-
now. When you were growing up, when you were a kid, there was a list the other day on the scariest movies you've ever seen. As a kid, it had to be different than what it is now. When you were young, were you allowed to watch really scary movies?
no, I doubt it.
I mean,
No.
we're talking young. How about 10, 12 years old?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. What was that? The Blair Witch Project? I guess that wasn't. I wasn't that young, but that was maybe this. I've never been a scary movie guy, so.
Not into The Exorcist or
No. I mean, I remember that movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
but no, that's not like my cup of tea.
Alien, that kind of stuff.
Aliens, all right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Was that a Halloween movie?
No, not necessarily Halloween,
Good
but
call,
Halloween.
Sam.
it gets
Is Die
played a
Hard
lot.
a Christmas movie?
Oh.
100%.
Oh,
right?
yeah. It's play. Yeah,
100%.
that's
Here's what I love.
when it's
So
played.
last year, Sophia, me, and the boys are sitting down to watch Die Hard, like everybody should. And I'm telling my wife this is a Christmas movie, and she says, "No, it's not." And I say, "Alexa, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?"
Oh, you
Alexa
did.
says, "Absolutely." No. So if you ever need to go to, I trust Alexa when it comes to decisions like that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I'm
So,
going to
do you
ask my phone after we get done with this.
There you go.
Okay, you trust Alexa. Have you ever asked Alexa for football
No advice.
information?
No, never.
advice? No,
No, I
I'm
haven't.
going to go there. All right. That's good.
This got sidetracked, man. I
Yeah,
love it.
Halloween's fun. I love
Yeah,
it.
it is.
Do you ever dress up outside of just that? I mean, could you get on the plane tomorrow? No, it's a business trip. You're not going to do that.
I'm not.
Okay.
No.
But tell me about the shirt you're wearing, though. I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
Dylan Gabriel just gave it to me. Our nickname for our wideouts are the Hot Boys.
Yeah.
So, Dylan's hooked the guys up with some gear throughout. Dime Time's kind of the theme. So this is a Dime Time World Tour Hot Boys shirt. Pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. All right, we got to get in a little bit of football here. Let's talk about always ask you just a quick kind of recap of how you felt your team performed last week in general, both sides of the ball.
Well, yeah, I'm probably going to sound a little bit like a broken record, just that I'm excited and pleased with the growth that our teams continue to have.
Good.
Every single game.
Yeah.
I feel like each side of the ball, each phase of the ball is played a little bit better and improved in areas that we tried to attack. So, came out and played a complete game. Our fans were awesome. Start off quick. I think 5 of the first 6 drives, our offense goes down and scores, and our defense was able to get some stops and really for the first time create some takeaways that were really, impactful in that game.
A lot of guys that were a big part of that game, too, that are just really coming to the forefront, you
Right.
know. The Lowe's and the Sadiqs and all the different guys on defense that are contributing. Talk about the importance of that as you get in. You guys maybe don't look at it as a stretch run when you get into the third of the season, and
Yeah.
yet in the stretch run, those are the type of guys you need that have come to the forefront.
There's always somebody that has to step up, as you get later in the season that you maybe didn't anticipate early in the season. And then there's always somebody that's developed and grown and earned themselves the right to be able to participate and be a part of, what we're doing. And we've had, some of both.
Amari Washington's another one, isn't
Yeah.
he? He's really come to the table. I mean,
Absolutely.
What's been the key to his, improvement?
Yeah, just, constant improvement is really that. I mean, he's always been a talented player since he's got here, and you see him growing into his role. But he's a violent player. He's probably one of our best strikers up front when it comes to getting off the ball, and he plays with great twitch for a guy with his size. So it's really been fun to watch him grow and improve.
Yeah.
How do you keep guys, I mean, it's next man up mentality, but how do you keep some of those guys who haven't started or haven't played very much engaged in practice throughout the season so that if there's an opportunity, they do get the chance?
Yeah, I mean, it takes the right guy, right? It takes the right guy because that's not easy. That's not human nature.
Yeah.
And I think when they're focused on what we always talk about, the process of improving and making themselves the best player they can possibly be, they do a good job of attacking it.
But the culture of your team was again on display, I think, on Saturday. At least to me, seeing guys make big plays and other guys rushing over to the selfless type of acts and that
Yeah.
type of deal. If you don't mind, Talk about a couple of the things that you guys do to really work on culture, because I see it into the end of the season, which is really important.
Well, I think more than anything, we coach it when we see it, right? When you see it, you point it out and you say that's what a good teammate looks like. That's what a guy doing the right things look like, and our players really embrace it. All these guys work so hard. There's nothing really more rewarding than to see somebody else that you work with every day go have some success. So I appreciate that our guys value that and the opportunities that their teammates have and the success that they have, celebrating that.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the recruitment of the right guy that you're going to bring here,
right,
that has that mental aptitude to be able to be coached like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great opportunity this week. It's another opportunity, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah, new stadium. And how have you guys, approached this? Have you approached it any different than any other game?
No, I mean, same process for us. I mean, we'll always adjust things throughout the week based on where we're at in the season and what we think it takes to compete with an opponent. But this is certainly an exciting one for us.
How do you talk about the final third of the season a bit? Have you changed, or how do you change practice as you go throughout the season? You're coming up the final third now. Guys have been beat on a lot. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Do you change? What do you change, or how do you change practice?
We adapt a lot. I always want to be proactive and not reactive, so I generally put down my plans for the next week's practice before we play the game before, right? And the thought process being, I don't want this game to impact what my thoughts are going into the next game and what I think our prep should look like. So, before we play Illinois, I wrote down, hey, here's the things I want to make sure we're able to accomplish for the Michigan game. And then you'll have some tweaks based on, hey, this was a strength, this was a weakness, what do we need to make sure we incorporate more in practice? You'll do that. But, we always try to plan it out in advance, and really the season almost out in advance. When we get to this point in the season, we'd like to remove this period, add this period, whatever it might look like.
Offense got the ball first, and you mentioned it, five out of 6 possessions in the first half are touchdowns. Really started hot. Offensive line has been a huge key of that, Coach. Protecting the quarterback, opening up gaps, and that type of deal. So talk about the performance and, again, the continued performance of your offensive line.
Yeah, they've gotten better every single week. They've done a good job of being a really physical team. I think we've really preached the physicality required for us to be successful in the last few games, and those guys have taken it personal and attacked it.
All right, we got you for a few more minutes. We're going to take a break and come back and talk more about Halloween candy. We'll come back and talk about football. It's our coaches interview brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi from our Country Financial Studio. We're back with more on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Go Ducks!
It's made, turned, don't deny me the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon.
This is Oregon football from Learfield.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Welcome back inside our Country Financial Studio. It's our Toyota Coaches Show, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And our Pepsi Coaches interview, head coach Dan Lanning, and with us talking Duck football a little bit last week, and now kind of getting ready for this week coming up. But there's one point I want to make, and you've got some, I don't want to say stars on this team. Every football team has guys that get the headlines. Dylan Gabriel comes to mind. But last week, Noah Whittington had a play that was noted everywhere in college football across the nation. How do you allow those guys to get that notoriety, but at the same time dial them back in and keep them in play? I mean, it's a fine line to walk.
Oh, I don't think we need to dial them back. I mean, we got the right guys. They went out there and they did their job, and we always talk about our DNA traits. I think that's a great play that shows the DNA traits showing up, in person there. You talk about a guy like Noah that's experienced some heartache and experienced injuries and the toughness required to come back from that and the sacrifice that was required to turn around and deliver that blow to somebody else is always fun to see.
One of the best plays of the year.
Yeah, and he's had a couple of them. The big catch versus Purdue was really impressive in the end zone as well. So it was fun to see him. And, obviously the kickoff return against Boise State wasn't too bad. So this guy's made some big plays for our team.
Yeah, kind of an inspiration to the rest of the guys on the sideline.
For sure.
Yeah, your defense is playing great, Coach. Really putting pressure on the quarterback. A lot of sacks, obviously, makes everybody better in the secondary and elsewhere. You've played against some quarterbacks that move around pretty well, and you're going to see them again this week. So, I don't want to say what's the plan. You're not going to share with them, but just
tackle
continue.
Them.
Tackle them.
No, it's a real
Keep
challenge.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's a real challenge. With Warren and Orgy this week is they've figured out how to kind of use those guys in different ways. I think anytime a team can run with the quarterback, it makes you use 11 guys to defend them. So that's always a challenge, but our guys have done a good job of prepping for that, so hopefully it shows up as well on Saturday.
I know you look at film and you practice and get ready for it. Michigan seems like an offense that doesn't spread you out a whole lot. They're more of a, trying to drive it down your throat. Do you have to adjust what you do during the week ahead?
Yeah, I mean, you're always trying to adapt to your opponent, right, and what they do well. But, they do have a good variety of run schemes. I think they're a team that obviously prides themselves on establishing the run, so it's important we stop that in this game.
Just enough danger on the outside, and a guy like Colson Loveland at tight end that's really good, isn't he, too?
One of the best we've gone against, and obviously a big threat for their team, somebody that they want to get the ball to in critical situations.
Samaj Morgan, one of their leading receiver other than the tight end. What's special about him?
Yeah, speed, athleticism. I think, they obviously trust him and put him in, key situations. He's going to be a guy that, the ball could come to.
One thing Michigan's done for the most part with everybody has played really good defense, which has kept them in a lot of games. Mm-hmm. Talk about their defense and what you see in it.
Well, certainly one of the most talented defenses we've gone against. Their front is really, really impressive. Got some, great interior defensive linemen and edge rushers. Got dynamic players in the back end. So I think there's as much talent on this defense as any defense we've played this year. And they're aggressive by nature. They do a lot of different pressures, and they make it challenging for you to prepare for.
We're flat out a little bit early, a day early. How do you change, or actually I guess you're not changing practice this week. You're still putting the same elements in the same day. You're not changing, right?
Not changing.
Not changing. So tomorrow we're practicing. I got you after. We're going to do it before yoga and all that kind of stuff. Don't forget, I got the interview tomorrow. Okay, don't be racing to the plane. Don't race to the plane and leave me standing there.
Does the Purdue trip help at all? I mean, is there any
I think all experience. I think all of our experience traveling and just games in general help for sure.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question that's not about the game, but I see scouts out there on a pretty regular basis. All teams have them watching. What do NFL scouts look for that's the same or different than what you would look at a high school or a junior college transfer as far as what are you looking at? Both same?
Yeah, I think we're probably all looking for similar things, right? I think the one thing that, obviously we have a ton of NFL scouts that come to, practice regularly and come watch our team regularly throughout the week, and they're probably trying to answer all the questions you can't answer on film. What's this guy's demeanor like between the whistle? What's he like as a teammate? How hard does this guy work in individual drills? Is he likable and learnable? Right? Do the people around him like this guy, do they want to coach him? Do his teammates enjoy being around him? Does he have an element of toughness? How much time does he spend on the ground? Yeah. I think those are all the things that scouts are looking for when they're out there at our practices.
And you look for the same thing when you're recruiting, don't you? That
Absolutely.
The same type of things. The reason I asked that question is I was listening to Sirius XM this week, and they were talking about Derek Harmon and how much he has changed from a year ago, that somebody got into his head and said, hey, if you want to be successful, you need to drop some weight and do some things. Where did that come from?
Well, Derek's extremely motivated, and I've been very impressed with his work ethic, how great a player he wants to be, but also how coachable he is. And he's come here and he's really attacked some things in his game to say, okay, I want to improve this. I want to put it on film. And I think that's what you have to do as a player, and he's done that.
Interesting you talk about him. This big trip this week for him, isn't it?
It's be a fun trip for him.
Rounded up tickets. How many is he trying to round up?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'm sure he's trying to get a couple.
As you get ready for Michigan, I look back to Michigan, tradition, big stadium, national champion last year. Is it still pretty much the same type of Michigan program? I mean, the same process, the physicality, everything. Physicality is big because Oregon is now known as the physical team in the Big Ten. Michigan still much the same as they were?
Yeah, certainly. They definitely have physical traits. You look at the teams that they've had success against this year, they've been really physical at the point of attack, and even, games that were close, they still played with that brand of football.
Love the focus of your team. I'm sure you do right now. That they take 1 week at a time and the task at hand, and here's the next opportunity for you.
That's right.
Yeah. One more question, then we're going to let you go, and that is the team unity, the brotherhood, the family aspect of this team. You have different rooms. The guys talking about the wide receiver room, and they're talking about the offensive line room. They're talking about the defensive backs rooms. I mean, it's hard to ask the question, but how do you develop that family atmosphere that guys respect each other so much?
Yeah, a lot of open conversations and just opportunity to be around each other. We try to create a lot of opportunities that we're with each other outside of just football. And I think our players do a great job of embracing that and realizing how important it is.
All right, we'll let you go. I said last question. That'll be it.
Can't wait.
What? Show the shoes?
Yeah.
I've got those are
These
great.
are they don't match. Right here, I can just
purposely,
take
and that's on purpose.
Well, that's yeah. These are the Dove kicks here that they hooked us up with. Give a nice little.
Oh, those are sweet.
They're neat. I think it's cool to keep the tag on, so I still got my tag on them there. Pretty neat.
So we'll all have those in our lockers after the show.
Yeah, be in your locker there afterwards.
No doubt about it.
Support Dove. Wait, let me get that right. There you go. Bam.
Love it, Coach.
Yeah, good stuff.
Wow, I love the time, the insight, and getting ready for a big trip on the road. Looking forward to it. Some good memories for the Ducks when they went to Michigan last time. So let's recreate those, and we'll catch you tomorrow, and then jump on the airplane and do it again. All right?
Sounds good.
Thanks, Coach.
Our
Appreciate you guys.
Coach's interview. Thanks for being with us. We're going to come back. Joey's got a special guest for you, a guy that's kind of an in-state guy. It's going to be fun to talk with on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially, like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give Duck fans more for the things they care about, more for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your Duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Your home for Duck football.
Dump a short pass, it's intercepted. Oh, what a throw, what a catch. Pressure, steps up, goes down.
The Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We're back on the Toyota Coaches Show. We're in the Country Financial studio. A specialist, Luke Basso, is here in studio. Number 43. You're listed at 6'3". I think you're actually 6'4". What do you think?
I'm 6'3". I'll be honest. I might
Right to the nose?
I might even be a little bit closer to 6'2", but I just tell people I'm 6'3".
6'3".
Okay, yeah, that's what we say.
6'4" in cleats.
Yes.
6'4" in cleats.
That's the
Junior
truth.
from Lake Ridge, Lake Oswego, Oregon. 215?
Yep.
Yep.
215.
I asked this because these are the important biographical things that you can read. But you know what you can't find out? Is all the things that you're about to tell us in your 2-minute life story.
All right.
2-minute life story. I had a feeling you might be ready for this
I'm
one.
ready.
All right. The 2-minute life story of Luke Basso. Go.
All right, everyone. I'm Luke Basso. Obviously, just introduced myself, but I am born and raised in Oregon. I am from Lake Oswego, Oregon. I've lived there my entire life. My parents are Pat and Kelly Basso. Love them to death. And then I got my sister, Avery Basso. She's currently at Gonzaga. She's wicked smart. I wish I was as smart as her, but I try my best. I went to Lake Ridge High School, went through the youth program my entire life, played football, basketball, track, threw the javelin a little bit. But football is the thing that I've always wanted to do. My dad played at Lewis and Clark College, so pretty close by, and he's the real reason that I'm doing it today. And, yeah, in high school I played a little bit of linebacker and tight end, but long snapper. One of my coaches my sophomore year was like, hey, we need someone to do this. And I was like, all right, why not me? So I went to a camp, Rubio long snapping, and started getting ranked, recruited, and then Oregon came along. I knew that this is exactly where I wanted to be. I mean, if you're from Oregon, this is the dream. So committed, and then I've been here and loving it every single day. I'm studying. I got GSS right now with a minor in sports business. I've always kind of wanted to work for Nike or something like that. Have thought about being a firefighter. Who knows? We'll see where.
All right.
But also the NFL is the dream.
Right.
So that's plan A. But, yeah, that's a little bit about me. Love Italian food. I'm Italian. Basso.
Basso.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Minute 30.99.
Ooh.
No, that's good. That's efficient.
Yeah.
Efficient.
It is efficient.
All right, I have a serious question.
All right.
Because I struggle with this, and the worst thing that a broadcaster can do is mispronounce the wrong syllable, right?
Okay.
Or syllable.
Right.
Jeffrey Bassa and then Luke Basso.
Yep.
There's an Italian in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Somewhere.
Yeah. I got to find it.
Yeah.
I got to get it right.
Right. So it is Bassa, Jeff Bassa, and then Basso. People call me Basso, and it gets really confusing during team meetings. There have been times where Lanning has 100% called on Jeff Bassa, and I just started talking.
Well, former linebacker.
Right,
so
right. I mean,
it tracks.
basically the same. So, and then everyone in the team meetings looking at me like, why is he talking right now? He called on Jeff, but you know what? It works out. And then we had TJ Bass a little bit ago.
Right,
and
exactly.
So.
Yeah. It's so funny because I was thinking about, talking about you and your path, and so many follow-ups here, right? So what position did you play growing up the most before you became the long snapper that you are today?
Linebacker. It was linebacker from third grade through high school. That was what I always loved. My senior year, that's when I really started playing the most. Dabbled with it my junior year on varsity, kind of was a rotator guy, but all through youth, that was the thing that I wanted to be. And then offensive line. I mean,
really?
I do not look like an offensive lineman, but I was the center, and that's how I got into long snapping, and I loved it. And then, every once in a while they threw me in at tight end, but linebacker and offensive line, that was my thing.
So you still know the linebacker playbook,
right? Yes.
Out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. That's why you can talk when everyone thinks, oh, it's Jeff. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Like,
exactly.
Oh, that's why Luke's talking.
Exactly.
Right now. So the path for a long snapper, certainly, as you alluded to a little bit, is unique.
Yeah.
Can you just take us through that process in more detail? Like what? How does it happen? How did you get so good at it?
Yeah.
Just the whole path.
Absolutely. So, like I said earlier, I was just on the practice field one day in high school, and because I played center, because I knew how to snap a ball with my right hand decent enough, my coach wanted me to take the long snapping duties.
Right.
So he's like, okay, you need to go to Rubio long snapping. I was like, what the heck is that? As far as I knew at that time, Alex Forsyth was the long snapper for the Oregon Ducks.
Right.
Like, I just thought it was the center who did it.
Center,
I had no idea. Right. So I go to this camp. I look it up. My kicker in high school did Chris Saylor kicking, and Rubio and them were kind of tied together. And I went to this camp in Seattle, and we warmed up. We get this film taken of us snapping to punters, and they give us these shirts and everything, and it's a couple hours, and they time us, and they take videos of us, and we compete, and they do this target competition where it's some crazy point system, right? And then they post it on this website with all these rankings for classes, and Rubio does an amazing job. It's very organized, and you can find yourself, and it will be your whole entire bio, and it will be videos, and then after that, you just go to more and more camps. So after this first camp, I was like a 3-star long snapper, and I was like, okay, that's pretty sweet. Like, this is cool. I've never been a starred, ranked player in anything. So after that, I just kept going to more, and I racked up more and more camps, would go to Vegas. I went to a couple camps in California. He'd invite us to some camps.
Cool.
And, yeah.
It's an amazing path.
Yeah.
It feels like it happened quickly.
Yes, very quickly.
For you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Sophomore year, and then boom.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
As they say. You touched on your family. I always like to ask about your family. Mention your dad. Big reason why you've been doing this. Tell us about your family a little bit.
Yeah, my family's amazing. I love them. I have a great connection with them. My mom went to Canby High School. My dad went to Lake Ridge. He won a state championship at Lake Ridge. And
legacy.
Yes, legacy. He loves to rub it in my face because I, never won one. But he talks about the glory days. The glory days. So I give him a hard time because every time I come home, he tries to show me his high school tape. And he likes to claim that he's the best blocking receiver in Lake Ridge history. So that's his claim to fame, but I don't know. We'll see.
Mr. Basso?
Yes, Mr. Basso. But,
okay.
Very close with them. They're #1 supporters, and they come to every game that they can. They'll be at Michigan.
Cool.
So, yeah, love them to death.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, now you talked, too, about a sibling.
Mm-hmm.
You can compete in the classroom, too, right,
yes.
Luke? Yeah.
Yes.
I know you can.
I love school. I've always worked hard in school. Having my older sister, Avery, just be as dedicated and as smart as she is has pushed me in the classroom as well because I know how important it is after football. So, yeah, I can do well in school, too.
When you said that, it hit me, and here's why. My sister's 10 years older than me, and my sister is so much smarter than me, and it always made me mad. So
it's the worst.
Yeah. Competitiveness,
yes.
Right? I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, so target practice.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do like the William Tell bow and arrow apple on a head with a football? Like, how good are we in target practice on the long snap?
Yes. So, for example, sometimes when we're in the locker room,
oh, good,
we'll do this thing.
Good.
Right, locker room talk.
Yeah.
We like to put a Gatorade bottle on someone's head.
As one does.
And, usually it's one of the kickers or punters, and they trust me. And we'll try and do some target practice and hit the bottle off the – I don't know if you've seen the challenge before where you get the snap and you try and get the cap to twist off.
Exactly.
I've yet to complete that.
Ooh.
But, it's a good party trick for the future. At a wedding or something, if someone has a football, maybe just go try and hit like an empty water bottle or something. We'll see.
I've seen that party trick, but the bullseye of hitting the water bottle off of a head is tough to do.
It is tough.
Yeah. So what's the success rate? Are you like 7 out of 10? Like, are you 10 out of 10?
I would say if we were to do it right now.
And we're talking like distance, like if you're snapping to a punter.
Total punt.
Right?
I would say like a good, healthy 5 out of 10.
That's
you're gonna miss right or left or a little high or a little low, but I think I could get it 5 out of 10 right now. Who knows?
And I'm telling you, most quarterbacks aren't going to do 5 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the accuracy that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Here.
It's tough. It's got to be very spot on.
How big of a deal is the accuracy? I know that sounds like an easy question, but
it's a very big deal. It makes the punter's life so much easier when I'm able to give them a good snap. So, and I've caught snaps before, and I've tried to punt. I've tried to sky punt in practice, and I'll tell you what, it's very hard to punt if the snap isn't perfect. So I do my very best to make the punters' lives a little bit easier.
Yeah, the consistency is what's amazing.
It's key.
All right, we got to get time out, come back, talk a little bit more about the art. I think it's an art.
It is an art.
I don't know if you agree. We're going to find out.
I believe that.
All right, we're going to find out. Luke Basso's here. It's the Country Financial Studio, Toyota Coaches Show. More coming on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, On Point is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways On Point can help support your financial well-being. On Point Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially. Like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give Duck fans more for the things they care about. More for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your Duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit.
Go Ducks! Go Ducks!
Give it to me, baby! My house! I'm taking it there!
This is Oregon football from Learfield.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
It's an art. I'm telling you. So welcome you back to the Toyota Coaches Show. I'm Joey Mack. Luke Basso is here talking the art of long snapping.
Yep.
I describe it as an art because it's like it moves in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best videos that you get of football are that long snap, right?
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
So the art form, it's so specific and so many little intricacies that change what you do. How do you describe long snapping to someone that knows nothing about football?
I'd say it's poetic in a way. Honestly, like
I love that.
Like that's
Honestly,
the best
Luke,
way.
I love that.
That's the best way I can describe it. It is such a niche position and such a unique thing to be able to do. I mean, there's so much to it. Like your entire body's involved, all the way from your hands to your feet and how you position everything. I mean, what other position are you upside down backwards with both hands?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like but
you're about to do a somersault.
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
So it's an art for sure.
What's the weight training regimen? What do you need to be really strong at as a long snapper?
Hamstrings, triceps, and anything like squats. Like I think squats this next offseason, that's the thing that I'm going to be attacking. But hamstrings for sure. Got to have strong hamstrings. Those are the things that get sore the quickest. Your groins, and then your triceps for sure, because that's where the power comes from.
Shoot, and I would even say like your core.
Oh yeah, core
amount.
strength. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
that is key.
Well, and I describe it too as an art because there is such a focus on the specialty of it, right? I mean, so when I call you a specialist, right? How do you take that as a long snapper? Because you mentioned like it's a niche position, but it's so important to the game.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, being a specialist, it's all part of the brand. You know, we're part of the team, but we're also kind of part of our own little family.
Right.
Kickers, punters, long snappers. So it is a specialty. It's unique, and I love it.
How much does the holder and or the punter impact your role?
They have a very high impact. Like, I mean, a lot of it too is just the relationship that you have with them. Like, I have a fantastic relationship with my holder and punter, and but yeah, I mean, oftentimes like when we're out on the field, their cadence for holding and stuff, and just like their alignment for punt, we got to be so spot on. And that's why we do it so much, is that we've got to be on the same page. You know, we're one unit, so it's the power of unit out there.
Coach Lorig, we were talking a little bit during the break, which is how detail-oriented Coach Joe Lorig is as a special teams coordinator. What's it been like working with him and the rest of the staff?
It's been a blessing. I love the staff. Coach Lorig has poured so much into us. He's very straightforward, and he'll tell you how it is, and that's what you need in a coach. And it's made me extremely coachable, and everyone else around me is just super coachable, and having that sort of mentality and that focus has made me better as a player. And there's just a lot of accountability, like very no excuse. get the job done, one play, one focus, do your 1/11th type of mentality.
How hard is it mentally in your role to go from snap to snap? Because you mentioned the niche position.
Yeah.
You're maybe only be in there a handful
Right.
of times each game.
Yeah.
How tough is that?
It can be very tough. I think that's one of the hardest parts about the position is that, like, if you are a skill player, you're on the field, like, you mess up or something happens, okay, next play, boom. But for us, it's like we go out there and we get one play, and then it might literally be another half before we
Right.
get to go out on the field again. So we got to stay warm, stay focused. On the sideline, I'll repeat things to myself to just be grounded and remember, like, okay, next play, give it 100% this play, and just prepare for your opportunity. But we treat practice just like a game. Like, we'll be out
Right.
there, and we have periods throughout the practice where we'll be doing a ton of stuff, and then we won't do anything for 6 periods. We'll just have water cooler gossip, and then we'll go out for the next one, and we'll be prepared for the next play.
But, you talk about the mental discipline of that. Like, you're repeating stuff to
Yeah.
yourself, Like, what other advice, I guess, would maybe you have for someone who's like, you know what? Sophomore you, right,
Yep.
becomes a long snapper. What advice do you give to a future long snapper?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that question. I would just say, number one is be confident in yourself, and also don't be embarrassed about what you're doing. I know that sounds weird, but when I first started long snapping, because I didn't know what it was and because other people didn't know what it was, I was afraid to fully commit to it. Like, you can't be afraid to commit to what you love and what you want to do. Now I'm living my dream. And at first I was really nervous about that, but you just have to be confident and then attack every single day. Like, I would consistently wake up, go up to the field, snap to my dad, and just do it on repeat. Consistency is key with the whole position. What you produce on the field is everything that you do in the dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how similar and dissimilar is it for the amateur here to the center, right? Different type of snap.
Yeah.
Right?
It's very different. I used to think that it would be similar, but 2 hands instead of 1 hand,
Right.
5 yards, 15 yards. It's very different. But at the same time, you're kind of the controller of the line right there, and you've got jobs to do. Like I was just telling you during the break, me and Bryce Betcher, we've got assignments. We got blocking assignments. I got to identify if it's safe.
Right.
I got to see what pressures they're bringing. And the PP will be like the quarterback. Charlie Picker's the PP, and he'll identify like what pressures there are, and then he communicates that to me, and I'll be able to help the guys, the guards, and the tackles out as well.
And in your, I guess, growth from a football knowledge perspective, like we talked about you playing linebacker, playing a little offensive line. How much did all of that inform the player that you are now, just from a knowledge-based perspective?
Right, yeah, a ton. Like, just the knowledge that I've been able to receive growing up in football and then here, it's just made me a better football player. It's kind of hard to explain, but just being around it each and every day, like hearing Coach Lanning talk and hearing the coaching staff talk, and then being in our team meetings and hearing Jeff Basso or Dylan Gabriel break down a play.
Right.
It's so impressive. I learned so much from it. It applies directly to the field.
Well, I mean, eventually we're just going to change a letter, and you could wear the Basso jersey, right? I mean,
exactly.
You got to be ready just in case.
Hey, you never know.
You never know. You never know.
You never
Okay.
know.
Now, we talked a bit about how you're living out your dream. Why did you choose Oregon?
Yeah. I chose Oregon outside of football because of the connection with sports business and my dream to work for Nike.
Cool.
I knew that the education was something that was going to be very important for me in college. And then when Oregon offered me, there was just no other choice. I was like, this is exactly where I want to go. So I got the offer, and then I committed within that next week.
Cool.
And then being as good as Oregon is, who wouldn't want to go here? I mean, this is the school to go to.
There's your recruiting pitch.
Yeah.
Right there.
There you
Okay.
go.
Can I get one more time out?
Of course.
All right. One more time out. I need to ask you a Halloween question.
Right.
Be ready.
Of course.
And then a little bit more of the hard-hitting stuff.
'Kay.
As we've done. Luke Basso is here. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
More Duck football comes your way in 60 seconds.
Turns and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon. Touchdown, Ducks.
On the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I envisioned a whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We've talked about target practice. We've talked about art. We've yet to talk about Halloween candy. Luke Basso, we continue with the Oregon long snapper. We were just saying during the break that the old joke is in special teams and as the long snapper, you don't want people to know your name or say your name. Well, now everybody knows your name. Right. And I'm glad. Shine a light on the specialists.
Yes.
Now I get to ask you, best Halloween costume you've ever worn, best Halloween candy, what is it?
That is a fantastic question. Okay, so the best costume that I ever wore, and it might be cliche because I'm sure tons of people have done it, but when in middle school, when The Office, the show, was a big thing, I had a fantastic Dwight Schrute costume.
Yeah,
like I had the middle part, the glasses, like to a T, and I had the voice down and everything.
The mustard shirt.
Oh yeah, the mustard shirt, the whole deal. But that was by far, that one was a hit.
That's great.
Yeah. And then, what was the other thing that
best
you said?
Candy.
Best candy. This is going to be shocking to probably a lot of people because I've received hate for it in the past.
Oh, boy.
I'm a big Almond Joy guy.
Yeah, that's fine. You either love them or you hate them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think almonds belong in candy. It's a health food.
Right. I mean, I love my Kit Kats and I love my Reese's, but an Almond Joy, I do enjoy one of those.
Enjoy. I see what you did there.
Exactly.
I see what you did there.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Advice for 17-year-old you.
Right.
If you go back in time, what advice do you give 17-year-old Luke?
I love that. I would say just believe in everything that you've been doing. Don't have any doubts. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that stops anybody at any position is self-doubt. I mean, there's so many people out there in the world that try and tear you down or say negative things that you don't need to be adding on to that. Like, your mental strength and toughness is so important that, like, you just have to believe in everything that you're doing and trust that what you're doing is going to get you where you are. I remember thinking to myself after a bad day of snapping, like, it's over, like, I'm terrible, I can't do this, and then my dad would pour confidence into me. And looking back at that now and how much I've grown, I wish I was a lot easier on myself. So just don't be so hard on yourself and believe in what you're doing, trust the process, and know that it's all going to be worth it and it's all going to work out.
That's good advice. That's good advice. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being a Duck.
Absolutely. I
and
love
now
it.
Everybody knows the long snapper's name.
Yeah,
yes!
Let's go.
We love that. We love that.
You.
Hey, great career ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks
the plan.
again.
Appreciate you.
Luke Basso, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to get a timeout. Come back. Ducks at the big house. Long snapper will be there.
Let's go.
So will we.
I'll be
back
there.
after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
It's what you can't see when we go to the break.
No.
Jorgie's digging up
Did you want me to play it
commercials.
again for you, the $100,000 bar song?
Gosh.
I mean, I won't.
Look.
I don't need to. You'll throw something at me. So
I do. You know, he didn't know. Coach Lanning did not notice the penalty or challenge
Well,
flags
you know
that we
why?
left for
Because
him.
we never asked a bad question, maybe. Okay.
I'd like to throw the challenge flag.
That's right.
Oh,
that's a good time to use it right there.
Oh, my. Okay.
Luke Basso. Art. It's an art. It is an art.
Fabulous
being a
human
long
being.
snapper.
He is a special young man.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Woo.
Sharp.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You know, I usually ask after you become a millionaire, you play in the NFL. He already had that figured out. He was ready.
Man, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, he's great. I appreciate his time. And I think, guys, it's nice to shine the spotlight on the person that the joke in their position group is. Nobody should see us.
No. Yeah.
Right?
It's
nobody
the guy,
wants to know our names.
It's the guy that nobody talks about, that most fans don't even know about because
so
he does
important.
his job.
And a lot of times,
so important.
And a lot of times that position, just with the way the roster development is for all these teams, that position may be the same person for 2, 3, 4 years. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's often, all right, you're in, you're going, you do it. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool for an
Jorgie and I were
Oregonian.
talking about it. Who was the last? Karsten Battles.
Yeah, Karsten Battles.
Perfection career. I don't think he ever had a bad snap.
Yeah, you only said his name to say, hey, we want to say your name.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's great.
All right, Michigan coming up. We talked a little bit about keys to the game earlier on. Let's talk about key to the game. Oregon to be successful.
I always say on the road, start fast. I think especially when you're the number one team in the country, you're going to get everybody's best shot. Ducks have earned the right to get everybody's best shot. They're going to get Michigan's best shot. That would be a marquee game for a Michigan team that's coming off a national championship. They're looking for a marquee win. I think start fast, take the crowd out of it, and then I always say physicality. And whether it is true or not that the trenches are going to be the difference maker in the game. Trenches are always the difference maker in the game, right, Jorgie?
Yeah.
I think that the physicality in the trench is a big deal.
Yeah, start fast and have the run component be a big part of that fast start. I mean, that's what it is for me, because that's the physicality piece that you want to have in a game like this.
Yeah, you got to You're known to be a physical team. Now you got to show up with that physicality every week, particularly on the road. And a team like Michigan, who is known for that in their place.
You're going to see some speed, too.
You're gonna see speed.
Yeah.
Stop the run, protect Dylan Gabriel.
All right. 12:30 kickoff, 3:30 Eastern time, but 12:30 here on the West Coast, 10:30 a pregame show. I can't wait. I just remember 2007. That was so much fun. Let's make it fun again. All right. Thanks for being with us. Thanks to the coach and to you. Bye-bye. God bless.
This has been the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Tonight's show has also been brought to you by Country Financial Insurance. Protect what matters. And by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.